Hello, welcome to this video. This video is mainly intended for students in several levels of pre-calculus, but it can be handy as well for students in applied math and essential math, depending on exactly what topic you're doing. We're going to look at deciphering three common math instructions, and those are evaluate, simplify, and solve. And we just want to talk about what each of those things means. So when you're reading a question and you're asked to evaluate an expression, you know what you're being asked. So we'll start with evaluate. Evaluate, you can see the root word in there is value. Quite literally, evaluate is to find a value for. Your teacher will evaluate you in the sense that they take the sum of all your work and your tests and all the hard work you've done over the semester, and at the end you come up with a number. That is your mark. You have been evaluated. You'll hear the word evaluate, and all that means is you've basically earned yourself a number. You've been given a number. It's the same sort of thing in math. Evaluate means find a final number for some type of expression. An expression is a bunch of math stuff combined together, not in an equation, just without an equal sign. So for example, and we're going to keep it fairly simple here, let's say you see something like this, 2 plus 3 times 4 minus 5, right? If the instruction is evaluate, what that means is take this and work it out until you get to an actual final value. So 4 times 3 is 12. We get 2 plus 12 minus 5. 2 plus 12 is 14 minus 5 is 9. So we have evaluated this expression. You might also get an expression, maybe something like this, a nice quadratic. And you'll be asked to evaluate when x is equal to, let's say, 3. Okay. What that means is you're going to substitute in the value of 3 for x, and you're going to work it out down to a final number. You're going to evaluate or give it a value. So we get 3, every time you substitute in, should be in brackets, 3 squared plus 3 times 3 plus 11. So we get 9 plus 9 plus 11. That's 18, 28, 29. Okay, so evaluate means get the answer down to one single number. Simplify is a little different. We are technically also simplifying here in the sense that we've simplified this expression down to a single number. But simplify typically refers to an expression that can't be broken down to just one number, but can be broken down to a shorter expression. So you might see something like 2x times x plus 1 minus 3x plus 4. If the instruction is simplify, it means perform operations until you get to a point where you cannot perform any more operations. So we can distribute the 2x through the brackets. We get 2x squared plus 2x, and then we've still got the minus 3x plus 4. And you ask yourself, is there any more operations I can do? Well, we have some like terms, so we can combine like terms. We end up with 2x squared minus x plus 4. At this point, with no other like terms, I can't add or subtract unlike terms, so there's nothing else I can do. We have simplified this expression from something a little bit uglier to something a little bit more simple, the root word in simplify. Again, sometimes simplify is used when you get down to a single number, but it's more often, it just means do everything you can on the line of math in front of you until you get down to the simplest form. The last instruction is solve, and for pre-calculus students in particular, this is probably the instruction you're going to see a bit more than any others. And what solve means is find a value of the variable in an equation. So now we're looking at equations that would make the equation true. So we'll look at a very simple one here at the beginning. So if I have x plus 1 equals 7. This is an equation because it has an equal sign. I'm looking for a value for the variable that would make this a true statement. So your teacher, you should already know how to solve. You should be able to work through this. You subtract 1 from both sides, and you end up with x equals 6. This is the value that if we plug it in here, 6 plus 1 is in fact 7. So our left side would work out to be 7, our right side is 7. This is a true statement. Since it's a true statement, x equals 6 is our solution. It is the value of this variable that generates a true statement. In this case, there is no other value of the variable to make a true statement. Just 6 is the only thing that's going to work in here. Okay, this might take on an uglier form depending on what level of pre-cal you're at. Let's say we have x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. Solving a quadratic involves factoring the quadratic first. If you have not done factoring yet or quadratics, just ignore this part. And then since this equals 0, if either one of these parts equals 0, you have a solution. So we have two solutions, x equals -2 and x equals -1. Again, both of these values make the original equation a true statement. And we'll just test one of them. We'll put in -1. So -1 squared plus 3 times -1 plus 2 equals 0. So I get 1 minus 3 plus 2 equals 0. And 1 minus 3 is -2, plus 2 is 0, so I get 0 equals 0, which is a true statement. So x minus 1 is a solution. So is x equals -2. It would do the same thing if you plugged it in and worked it out. So just a quick recap. Evaluate means find a single value, numeric value for an expression. Simplify means to perform all operations possible on an expression. And solve means you have to find a value for the variable or variables. You might be dealing with multiple variables in an equation. And that's the important part. We're dealing with equations here with equal signs. You're looking for a value that will make the equation a true statement. I hope this helps clarify what it means when you see those words in your questions. And thanks for watching.